Hey everyone, and welcome to the video. This one is going to be a recent pickup that I did for my collection. And going forward, this style of video, a PC pickup, is actually going to be really rare on this channel, just because of the recent moves I did with the high gloss consolidation. I'm pretty much going after the best possible cards that are attainable for me, so that just naturally means I'm not going to be picking up many cards for the PC. Maybe one per year, and that would be pretty good, honestly. But that said, I'm probably still going to be buying some cool cards and grading them, and yeah, they just won't be PC cards. And yeah, unfortunately, the background pretty boring looking with no cards in it. I do have one card that I could have put there, but yeah, it's going to take a while till I have 10 cards again, down to just 4 currently. And I'll show you the most recent of the 4 cards was this 2024 Upper Deck Connor McDavid Outburst Gold 1 of 1. This is a card I am incredibly excited to add to the collection. I was pretty hyped about these Outburst Golds right away when I saw the 2023 checklist, when I saw that they would be adding a 1 of 1 Young Guns. But I was excited just for the veteran players, because hockey hasn't really had a flagship 1 of 1 parallel up until this point. The very first year of that Upper Deck had serial numbered parallels, which was 1998. They had a 1 of 1 that year, which is kind of random. I think actually the second year they had it too, 1999, and then after that they went away from it. So for the longest time, for 25 years basically, there has not been 1 of 1s in a flagship hockey product until the Outburst Golds. And in terms of the design of these, the name, the kind of unique technology they used, I think they just did an absolutely incredible job. These cards do just truly look special, like when you play around with them in the light. Even I love the way it looks scanned. I couldn't believe how cool this card looked when I scanned it. So yeah, this is just, when I saw that these were a thing, and with basically my favorite card possible are rare parallels of base set cards specifically, but even better than base set cards is flagship. The reason I like base set parallels over, say, inserts is because it's naturally a limited supply of base set cards. So, for example, every set can only have one true base card of a player. For each set that Upper Deck makes, there can only be one Connor McDavid base card in that set. But they could add 100 insert sets if they wanted. So there could be 101 McDavid cards in that product, but only one of them by definition can be the base set. Adding flagship on top of that is like an extreme version of that, where now there could technically be an unlimited amount of base set parallels, because Upper Deck could make 500 products every year if they wanted, but there can only be one flagship product. And flagship is basically just the main product. So I'm not exactly sure what the base sets are the flagships are in the other sports. I think of it as Prism in basketball and football, but I've heard people say that those aren't technically the flagship sets. But it's basically the main set. Like for baseball, it's Tops. Yeah, so for hockey, that's Upper Deck. This is the set that the most iconic rookie cards come out of. So yeah, I just love how McDavid will really only have one card like this every year. And he didn't have an Outburst Gold until year 9 for him in 2023. This one right here is 2024, so this is not the first year one. But I'll talk a bit more about that in a second. But yeah, since year 9 was the first year he had one of these, it's like right in his prime when these start, so I think that's pretty cool. But all that value that would have been, let's say he had a 1 of 1 Outburst Gold Young Guns, that card would be a very valuable card, and a lot of the value of his Outburst Golds would be in that one card. But that card doesn't exist. So for McDavid, the value kind of just has to get dispersed among his playing year cards, and there can't be too many of these because he's probably only going to play, maybe 20 seasons. So he's already at the halfway point, maybe even less than that. There can't be more than 10, 11, maybe 12 of these at absolute most by the end of his career. And I think it's just a very special parallel to own. And yeah, it does it. The aesthetics do it justice for sure. And then speaking of aesthetics, I actually really prefer this second year card to the first year one that McDavid has. And I'm talking about visually. I don't necessarily rate this as the better card than his first year because the attribute of being first year, that's just like not even subjective, you know, that's just a fact about it, which I think is important. But in terms of how it looked, they picked really not a great photo for the first year for McDavid. And they did that for a lot of the players. And then on top of the photos, I think the design is just better in this year too. But I'm going to jump over to the computer and just kind of show you some examples of what I'm talking about. It's one of my only complaints with the Outburst Golds, is I wish Upper Deck was more careful with the first year, like making sure to pick like really cool, safe photos for their star players. But I don't think they did a great job of that. So let me just show you guys what I'm talking about. All right, so this is what I was talking about with the photos. Like McDavid wasn't even the worst. Like some of the photos Upper Deck chose are just unfortunate for like a first year of such an important parallel. This was the Matthews. I actually owned the Outburst Gold of this. But like, what is this photo? He's falling down, you know, trying to make a play. Like Flagship does do this. Like they'll pick kind of interesting photos, so it's not like off-brand for them to do that. But I wish they treated it more like, you know, for a Young Guns, for example, you'd never pick a photo like this. You'd pick just like a classic hockey pose. I wish they kind of treated the star players that way for the first year of this parallel, but you know, maybe they didn't foresee how important it would be. Here's the McDavid. Definitely a way better picture than the Matthews, but like you just got this random like confused, scared look on his face. The Oilers logo is slightly obstructed. For some reason that always bugs me. If like you can't fully see the logo, it almost gives me like unlicensed vibes. But to take away any unlicensed vibes, they put this big ugly team logo on the card, like where the Outburst is. That just looks bad. There's no reason to have just a giant logo there. It just clutters the card. And even this bottom part doesn't have like the little color aspect to it. I mean, they do change this color, this blue. So like some of the players it's red or orange or whatever. But yeah, overall the design and the photo, I think it's just so much better in 2024. Really, the only player that got like a reasonable photo, in my opinion, at least for like notable stars, is Ovechkin. This is a decent one. It's like him snapping a wrist shot. No issue with that, but it is like quite zoomed in. I feel like this proportion is like a little too close up. Hockey cards look a little bit better when the player is a bit smaller than this, to my eye at least. Here's the Kucherov. Again, like not a good photo. Just zoomed into his face, some random awkward looking picture here. I think this is like, yeah, someone took that photo through the boards or like through the glass or whatever, like one of those photographers. But yeah, just not a great photo. Here's the McKinnon. It's a horizontal card. Unfortunate. The actual picture is fine, but it's horizontal, which I don't like horizontal cards. I'll get them if I have to. It's not like a deal breaker for me. Like certain things are, like a die cut. I will never touch a die cut, but horizontal cards, I prefer them not to be. That's the most recent year for Ovi. Yeah, Crosby got the same thing. Horizontal, close up, not a great photo, and he's wearing this ugly third jersey. Yeah, I would if I was collecting Crosby, I would much rather it just have been his home normal jersey and just a more cool photo than this. So yeah, and there was some bad one. Like look at this Marner, man. Like what is that? Just that's the first year Outburst Gold. So yeah, I really do think the 2024 just has better photos for like everyone. Look at this Draisaitl. Like that's like meme worthy right there. So it's kind of fun. It's funny, sort of, but like I just think the photos were not as good as they could have been, and that's one of the reasons I was really keen to get the McDavid second year one, because I just think it's a way better looking card than this, even if it's not technically as important. Also, just to briefly touch on the price I paid for this card, there was a post about this one at the time that I bought it, but yeah, a lot of people couldn't seem to believe that I paid $6,000 US for this. I found it kind of funny, like reading some of the reactions to this, because in my mind, this is like a steal. Like when you consider what this card is and what type of player McDavid is, I could go on like a 10-minute tangent scrolling on card ladder sales and just showing you some of the absolute trash that sells for 6K USD in this hobby, let alone a flagship one of one, absolutely beautiful parallel of a GOAT player. But yeah, we got an Ain't No Way from this guy. Steele, shout out to that guy. He knows what's up. This guy is saying he sold it for half that in a Facebook group. I actually saw that sale. 4K Canadian. He listed it, and there was like 50 comments right away. So I missed it. Obviously, most people missed it. Someone bought it right away. I knew about that price point, but that didn't really tell me anything because 4K Canadian was obviously way too low. No offense to this guy. He put it very fair priced, or like too fairly priced, and yeah, so props for that. But yeah, I think a lot of people would have paid a lot more, including myself. This guy says that's completely ridiculous. One of one base card. That's literally why I wanted it, because it's a one of one base card. But yeah, this sort of thing, I just find this silly when I read stuff like this. So Acetate guy, he's got a sick collection. Shout out to him. But he says any other non rookie year McDavid 1/1 without an auto or patch doesn't graze the surface of this price. First off, that's not actually accurate. There was like a 10K US sale for his PMG Gold 1/1. The base card, there was like a 100K sale US for the PMG Gold Retro. So there actually has been some huge sales of cards like that. But the part that I find silly here is like talking about an auto or a patch. This card, if it had an auto or a patch, would be 1,000 times worse. Like if you made an autographed version of this, I wouldn't even pay $1,000 for it. So that's part of the reason I spent so much, because it didn't have an auto or a patch. So I just find that sort of comment weird. Like, yeah, you don't need an auto or a patch for a card to be valuable, guys. Like, have people not figured this out yet? Go check out that Jordan PMG Green. I think that's a pretty good card. For some reason, though, sells for millions of dollars, but there's no auto or a patch on it. Strange. Maybe you should go buy an exquisite card instead. Seems like a great deal. But yeah, Slapshark's probably the most intelligent of all the commentators, because I assume this is Karn, who makes most comments on that account. But yeah, they deal in high-end cards. He is talking about how a Black Prism LeBron would go for 300K. By the way, that doesn't actually sound right to me. 300K sounds like a lot for a LeBron Black Prism. But then again, those probably hardly ever sell. But yeah. Oh, and shout out to this guy, by the way. Edition Sports Card definitely bought this. Sick read by him. But yeah, anyways, the price I paid I feel like is absolutely nothing. And if you think I overpaid, well, I have a challenge for you. I challenge you to buy this card for less than 6,000 USD. And if you can do that, you win the challenge. But guess what? If you send me an offer for 12K USD for this card, I'm going to block you. I'd be more likely to block you than I would be to accept the offer. And I'm just kidding. I don't block people, even though a lot of people block me because I have really good opinions that trigger a lot of people. But that's a separate story. Anyways, back to the video. All right, guys, I was just editing this video and I had to film this. Look at this Bedard second-year Outburst, $6,500, 20 seconds left. We're gonna see what it sells for. But just to put into context here, this is a card I just auctioned. Pop 1 rookie McDavid color match, 6,300. This thing's at 6,500. Let's see if it gets more bids. 10 grand. Oh yeah, I overpaid for the GOAT when this guy is on pace for like 70 points in his sophomore year. But I overpaid for the McDavid. Yeah, no. These Outburst Golds, man, they are next. They're just look at this card. By the way, this had 250 watchers on it. Does it show the watchers on my card here? Why does it just show that instead? But this card had like 170 or something. But yeah, I mean, just insane. Like the amount of respect these cards are getting. How much is that even in USD? Let's just check it out. Or other way around, I guess. It was 10 grand basically. 7K US for Connor Bedard, second year. I mean, it's an interesting card, you know. Like, imagine the rookie one never surfaces, then yeah, it's interesting. But it's the exact same year as the McDavid. So, anyways, yeah, I like I said, 6K USD felt like a joke to me for the McDavid. I just thought it was funny. Everyone was like calling me an idiot, but anyways, Bedard. And by the way, Bedard has not been. His prices have not been doing well recently. Like his random auctions aren't getting 250 watchers. Yeah, so these outbursts they have some serious like mystique around them already. It's not just me being crazy. But yeah, anyways, back to the video. So yeah, I think at worst this card will be considered McDavid's second best Outburst Gold ever made, and I think aesthetically it's very likely to be the best one, just with the design and the photo that they chose, and the fact that, I mean, this card is, he's like 27 years old in the photo of this card, and the season that this card is from is 28-year-old season. He's not like, to me, getting one of these cards 5 years from now when he's like 33 or whatever, it's not quite as good because it's like you're getting past prime. This is like literally prime peak McDavid on this card. Rookie cards are cool. Trust me, I love rookie cards, and I just bought a massive rookie card. But it's a photo of them as like a fresh-faced kid. You know, they're not like a legend yet in those photos. McDavid is already a living legend, and he looks like a legend in this photo that they chose. So I think this card is just absolutely sick. It's probably, I don't know. I like all the cards I have now because they're all just like really cool in their own ways. But yeah, this is definitely my favorite non-rookie card, McDavid, that I have. So anyways, that's it for the video. Thanks for watching. See you guys later.